Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on our urban worm bag with version 2 with the European night crawlers. Now last time we added about 6 pounds of food, or a little bit more than that, and I'll show the video up top on what that food feeding looked like. And this time we're going to add another 6 pounds, 13 ounces of food. So it's been 22 days since our last update, so this feeding should be gone from last time, and we should be able to go through this again. Now, I think there were some corn cobs we had last time, if I remember right. They might take a little longer to break down. They'll probably still be in there, but that's perfectly fine. So with that, let's go take a look at our system and see how it's doing. All right, here's our urban worm bag version 2.0. I did open it beforehand just to make sure to see how the fruit flies were. There were some fruit flies in here, and it looks like they are starting to get, especially with all this extra moisture in here, it looks like there might be some stuff on this lid that might be fruit fly larva or some sort of larva of some sort. Normally I don't mind as much in these systems. Luckily it kind of is self-contained. I still do have my little trap in here, which seems to be working pretty well. Put that off to the side. And let's go ahead and take a look and see how the system is doing. Now, even though there are some fruit flies in here, I am not going to stop putting in food. This is sort of a self-contained system. There's really not much place for me to get out. I am seeing some mites in here on the side. Let me just scrape these off and see if you can see here. There are some mites. So, shows there's a little bit too much moisture in the system maybe on top here. But look at this, we can see first corn cob, as I said. We did break these apart, but still they're there. A whole bunch of fruit flies right near that side over there. So they're still working on those. That's not surprising. Lots of cardboard on top here. We put a lot in last time. More corn over here. The rest of the food appears to be gone though. Looks like that they've worked through it. Now, if you're doing this at home, by the way, you really shouldn't be digging in the bag every time. You really should just be throwing your new stuff on top. I do this for educational purposes and not because this is what you should be doing. Really what you should do, throw your food on top, throw more cardboard on top, and go on your merry way. So that's just so you guys know. I know I've had a couple people say, really, you shouldn't be digging in. And I know that. I understand that 100%. Okay, now here is probably why we're seeing fruit flies. This is a pumpkin. These seeds are probably going to sprout at some point, but they have not yet. We've got another corn cob over here. But pumpkins, whenever I've had pumpkins in a bin, I've always had fruit flies because they do love pumpkin. And if there's any in here, they're going to find that pretty quickly. So this is an avocado pit. Looks like they're still working on that. There's a little worm right there. But you can see all these seeds in here. These seeds are probably going to sprout. They might sprout when I throw it in the yard. But they probably will at some point. They will sprout. All these seeds right here. That's fine though. I don't mind when they sprout when I throw them somewhere. You know, it kind of makes it nice and, you know, grow a little plant. So we got an avocado shell right over here. They're still working on some of that pumpkin stuff. Let's just bring this over to this side. We've got, I'm not sure what, the banana peel still in here. That's surprising. Normally those are fully gone by now. More corn on the cob. Again, I said these things take a while to break down. Another one over there, another one over here. We spread them all through the system for what I remember. Actually, here's another one right there. Those just take a long time to break down. It's not really surprising. We've got some clementine peel over here, it looks like. So not quite as well processed as I expected. Normally that stuff's sort of all gone, but we've got a mass of worms right here. It looks like right next to an avocado shell, or is this, this might be, oh, this is coffee grounds. They're still breaking down these coffee grounds. So we had some stuff that didn't break down quite as fast this time. Probably because I did a harvest on it. Essentially when you're doing a harvest, you're breaking up this entire microbiome that's in the bottom of the system. And everything gets shuffled around, excuse me, as it falls into place. So it's really, can be, I guess, counterproductive in a way when you're harvesting, you know, because it's, you got to let the worms maybe build back up a little bit. So maybe next time I harvest, I won't add any food. We'll just harvest the system and let everything sort of build back up. All right, there we go. All this stuff, we don't need to bury that really. Everything's going to be covered in here anyhow with a fresh layer of food. And we've got over 6 pounds of food again. As I said, we're not going to stop feeding here. Give me a second. I'm just going to bang this on the side. There we go. Nice big feeding right there. I know a lot of people are amazed at how much food you can throw in these systems, but these are what this is what these systems are made for. I mean, they're made for large amounts of food to be thrown in. Now, if you want to do it slowly, you can, but you got to get better at burying it rather than throwing in fresh cardboard every time like I do and then just slowly move up. But my other goal is to also go through a lot of cardboard in these systems because I actually do have a lot of cardboard in the house, and believe it or not, I don't know if they really recycle it in my area, even though they accept it. I do send cardboard in to be recycled, but I keep hearing that really they're just burning it or throwing it out. So it makes me a little leery if they're really actually composting this stuff. I'm just trying to break this apart a little bit more. Everything's frozen, of course. Got our coffee grounds, we got banana peels, got some clementines in here again. For some reason these things, some of them just go bad really quickly. I know I've mentioned it before, but we go through a lot of fruit in our house, and to have stuff go bad is sort of surprising a lot of times. Because normally we're scrambling to get more fruit during the week, but there's some times where it's just, it doesn't even last a few days, where there's one of them that's, you know, rotten in the middle already. So got some coffee grounds and some tea grounds in there. All right, let's grab the other container. Again, I'm going to bang this on here to just kind of loosen things up. There we go. There we go. Nice big feeding this time as well. We've got some banana peels. Looks like we have some grape stems and some grapes in here maybe. Tea bags. Got some broccoli, it looks like maybe. Some lettuce. Coffee grounds again. Let's just see what else we got. Coffee grounds, more banana peels. We got some asparagus bits in here. As I said, broccoli, some zucchini, or cucumber. Sorry, I think it's a cucumber this time. Let's just see if I can break this apart. And I will say, if I really ground all this stuff up, this would go a lot faster. I'd actually probably have to add more food each time. Maybe that's something we could test later, if I can find another source of food, since I'm dangerously low on food for my systems, really. I only have a couple of those containers left in my freezer. Normally I have like 7 or 8 of them. I think I'm down to like 3. So there we go. That is a nice, decent sized feeding. And now we're going to go ahead and put our crushed crab and eggshell on there. Just get my mask on here. When you're using this stuff, always wear a mask. I don't think we're going to need quite as much this time, but we're going to still dust everything in here. There we go. Just a little bit. And now we're going to add our paper. Now, this system was a little wet. I didn't check it before I did the paper, so the paper is still damp. So we're going to go ahead and add this paper in that's wet. And I can always add some more. I didn't add as much water maybe this time, so I can always add some dry paper in here too on top. I do have a bucket of paper that I always have in my basement, which I think we're going to need some more paper anyhow. Just get some of this out here. Now, if you notice, I'm not really using my sprayer with these systems anymore, with the bags. I do find it easier to just add directly from, a lot of people have mentioned pre-soaking the paper, and it is pretty easy to just dump some water, put the paper in here, dump some water in, move it around, and then just dump it in here. But I do have my sprayer still. Well, I might go back to it if I start finding that this lid is always wet like this. I might start going back to the sprayer because I can add just a little bit of moisture, but not too much. All right, with this, I'm going to go ahead and add some dry paper, just to soak up some of this extra moisture that might be in here. And the weather, just so you know, it makes a huge difference in how this works. And I will say it's been very strange. We've gone down all the way into like the freezing temperatures and then all the way back up to into the 80s. So had a very, very weird winter to start here, or fall into winter. So there we go. There's that. Got to put our little trap back in here. We're going to put that right back in this corner right here. Just press a spot in. And actually, Looks like there are some mites on this. I don't know if you can see that. There's some mites that are actually on here too. So I don't think it's catching them, but they do seem to like that as well. So there we go. There's our update for this system. And you know, maybe next time we'll see about maybe if we next time we do a harvest, maybe we will not add food. We'll let it kind of fall in. And we're going to cover this back up. And we'll let this go. I'm seeing a lot of fruit flies in this one corner over here. That's probably where the trap was. Maybe that's why. So there's a lot of them over there. But they'll hopefully make their way to the other trap in the basement here, which is the bug zapper. And we'll let them just die from there. Now, the other thing I could do is I could leave this open, like this corner open like this. Let some light in here, put the bug zapper right near this corner. And they'll fly into it more than likely, and that's another way to also lower the amount in your systems. I found if I do that, though, it is easier to use a bug light than the big bug zappers. So with it, that's my update for this week. As I said, it's been 22 days since our last update / harvest, and thank you for watching.